Yesterday I attended a MacMillan coffee morning to raise money for MacMillan Cancer, and as I was sitting there having lots of cake, got me thinking, how could we use this data in a chart, and then how could we bring it in for our PowerPoint? So as you see, I've created a chart on the cakes that were consumed, and as you can see from this one, obviously the most cake was the cheesecake, the cookies were really popular, and so were the caramel, and then the donuts over here were quite popular, and so were the cupcakes. Now following up on those other delicious cakes, we've got some apple cake here, some chocolate beetroot cake, and some rock cakes, and some chocolate brunt cake. Now, to make this stand out, I've actually used the pictures rather than the colours. So I'm going to show you how I put this pie chart together, how we can make the pie chart talk to Excel. So when we change the figures in Excel, it will automatically change in PowerPoint. Because I find, although you can do charts in PowerPoint, Excel is so much better at doing them, and generally the data is in Excel first. So let's jump in, let's put this cake to good use, and we're going to make a chart of our cake data. So here's the data that I collected on the cakes, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this data into a table. And the advantage of doing this is if I add extra cakes, which I will be doing, it will automatically dynamically add them to my chart. So to do that, click on your chart, click on your data, and we're going to use the shortcut Control and T. If you prefer, you can go up to the top and you can choose the Format as Table button. That does the same thing. So I'm going to use Control T. Okay. Now the chart, this picks up two bits of information. The first bit of information it picks up is the location of my data. It's worth just double checking that. So it says from A1 to B8, and there's a dotted green line going around that data to show it's picked up what I was expecting. That's good. The second bit of information that's going on in this box is the My Table Has Headers option. Now it's easy to skip this, but what that's doing is it's telling Excel that there are headings. If Excel doesn't pick those headings up, occasionally you'll find that Excel adds in an extra row of headings. So you've got to keep an eye on that, don't just bypass it. Anyway, all is good in that box, so I'm going to choose OK. And there we go. So there we go. My data is a table. It will automatically update. If I was to add something to the bottom, that will be included, and we'll see that in a minute. Okay, so now we've made it a table, we're going to make our pie chart. So we're going to go up to the Inserts menu at the top of the screen. There's the Insert menu. I'll just point that out for you, make that red so you can see where I'm going. There we are. And then we're going to choose from the Insert menu, we're going to choose a pie chart. So let me show you the button we're going to go for. These buttons, they get incredibly small, and sometimes it's difficult to locate the one you want. So there's the one that has the pie charts on it. So I want you to use the little drop down, and it gives us a choice. We're going to go for the 3D pie chart. Okay, and there we go. So far so good. Now this is where we can add to our pie chart, and you'll see what happens when we add data to the table. So I've actually missed out two cakes, so I'm going to add in chocolate bundt cake. One person put that down, and then rock cakes, and that was one person as well. And you'll see that automatically that information is included in my table, but it's also put into the chart. And this is one of the beauty of tables. It is updating the chart, so the two are talking to each other. Okay, so now we've got all our data in. I'm going to play around with my data. Now what I did on the example, you probably saw I used pictures rather than the colours in my chart. So let's have a look at how we do that. So we're going to click once on the pie. And then I want to change one part of the pie. I'm going to go for the caramel shortbread. That's the orange slice, and that's obviously quite defined at the moment, so it'll be a nice easy one for you to see. So I've clicked once on the pie. I'm going to click again on the orange slice. Now if you look carefully, and you do have to look quite carefully, you'll see there's these little circles around the orange slice. There we go. Just highlighted them in red there. But if you look at the other slices, they haven't got circles in. So that means Excel has just picked up the orange slice. And what can happen is you just click once. I'm just going to show you that. I'm going to click away. And I'm going to click once on the pie. Now look at the pie now, and you'll see there's circles around every single slice of the pie. Look, got loads of circles. And actually, if I was to change a colour now, it would do the whole pie. So let me just demonstrate. So I've clicked once, I'm going to go to fill, and I'll choose green. It's done the whole thing. I don't want that. Let's undo. Okay, so I'll go over that again. Click once for the pie, again for the slice. Okay, you're not going to take the whole pie. Okay, so we've got the slice, we've got the caramel cakes. Now I'm going to show you how you can bring a picture really easily into your charts. Right click. I'm going to go to the fill button. Now it's this button that allows us to change the colour, and that would be nice and straightforward. But we want a picture, so we're going to come further down the menu and we're going to choose picture. And it gives us a couple of choices. So if I'd actually gone round and taken pictures of all the cakes, I could use from file. But I'm actually going to use online pictures because I didn't, first of all, I was too busy eating cake to take a picture, and secondly, I think some of the online images will probably be better than mine. So let's go online picture, and I'm going to put in, actually I was really surprised how good Excel was at recognising cakes. Oh, hold on, I'm going to change that. And rather than caramel cake, let's put caramel shortbread. I can only imagine that whoever programs this is a big fan of cake. Here we go. So here we go. Plenty of caramel shortbreads in that picture. So I'm going to pick this one and choose insert. And there we go. So it's gone in. I think I might have used a different one last time, but we'll stick with that one for the moment. So let's try one for the donuts. So the donuts are the yellow colour. So if I, again, click once on the pie, sometimes once is enough. If you already selected something in the pie, you can just choose once to select another slice. But if I was elsewhere, I'd have to click twice. So click once on the yellow. That bit is selected because I've got the circles. Right click, fill, picture, online pictures. I hope you've had your dinner if you're watching this video, because it's going to make you hungry. Okay, donuts. Okay, and I picked these ones, these nice sugary ones here. Let's double click, and there you go. You can see they've gone in. So what I did when I created my first example, let me just go back to that. There we are, this one here. I went through each picture individually, and I picked the relevant cake, and Excel managed to have pictures of all of those cakes. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. One thing just bear in mind, because you're using pictures rather than just a colour, this file becomes quite big, because obviously it's holding, you know, quite a few large pictures. So if you're worried about file size, just be a bit careful, and you might find you have to revert back to colour if it causes you a problem. Okay, so we've got our pictures in. Let's just see how this changes. So let's take the caramel cakes. I'm going to take the caramel shortbread up to 20. It's quite a lot, but you'll see the change. There you go, you can see that it's working. So let's take that back to 6. Okay, so far so good. Now let's go back to the one I was working on, because the other thing I've done with this is I've put the key, the legend, on the right hand side, and I think that's a little bit easier to put it on the right or the left. So let's go back to the one in work in progress. We're going to click on the picture, on the chart, sorry. We're going to choose the plus button. I'm going to go to legend, and then I can choose the position. So I can go right, or I could possibly put it on the left. I might try the left. So choose whatever's better for you. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the title with charts, you need to delete the information that is unnecessary. So if in a PowerPoint presentation you've explained the title of your chart, you don't need to have another title sometimes. So if there's an unnecessary bit of information, just delete it. Okay, so let me explain what happens when we've gone through the whole chart and we've coloured in all the pictures. So now all the charts prepared, what I want to do is I want to take this picture and I want to put it into PowerPoint. So I'm going to do a copy. So Control C, just make sure you're clicked on the chart when you do that. I'm going to go into PowerPoint. Okay, I've chosen a blank layout. I quite like to work with blanks when I'm doing this. If you're not sure how to do that, by the way, to choose a blank layout, you'd go to New Slide, and there's the blank. If you've chosen the wrong one and you think actually I want a blank, go to the layout button at the top, that's there, and in the layout you can change to different things, but I quite like the blank. So let's stick with the blank, and we're going to paste that chart that we copied in Excel. So we're going to right click, and you get about 5 paste buttons. Now these can be quite confusing. The two with the little link pictures will link to Excel, and I like them because if I change my figures in Excel, it will change my data. Now I can either choose the destination theme, that means where it's going, which means it will use the colours from the theme I'm in at the moment, or I can choose the source theme from where it's coming from. Now for this it doesn't really matter, there's no background colour, there's no style, so I'm just going to go keep source formatting and link data. So that will put that in, that will link the two together. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Always best with a chart, just make it bigger. And the other thing is obviously with our key here, it's still a bit small, so I can click on the legend and just going to make sure I'm going to change the font size on that. So all I need to do is go up to the top to my font box, and I'll probably go for 12, something like that, so you can see it, because obviously it's picking up the settings from Excel, and that's quite small for people to be able to see on screen. Okay, so now my chart's looking quite good. Let's go and have a look at what happens if I change my figure. So let's pop back into Excel and we'll see what happens. So back in Excel. Okay, so let's change the cheesecake. So cheesecake's 5 at the moment. I'm going to change that up to 10. So you can see on mine it's changed. Let's go and have a look at the PowerPoint, see what's happened. And there we go, the PowerPoint has changed. Now one thing to be aware of, I found this out when I was preparing, it does change the figures, it doesn't change the picture. So if you decide that you don't like the picture you've used, you want to go back and use a different one, it won't automatically update that. There is a way around it if you're just using the colours, and I can do that in another video. Let me know if you'd be interested in finding that way out. But for pictures, I suggest you get all your pictures in place and then copy and paste it, because it will only update the figures. So hopefully that has helped you. Hopefully it's not made you think about cake too much. Sorry if it has. It was for good cause, MacMillan Cancer Research, but hopefully this helped you with your pie charts, with taking charts from Excel into PowerPoint. Always make sure you've got the latest file format. Don't use old XLS files or PPT files. You need to have the most up-to-date file formats. But hopefully if you've got that, it should be possible to create the chart in Excel, copy and paste it, update your data, and you should make your PowerPoint presentations really stand out. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments if you tried this, maybe just your comments on the cake. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.